Welcome back my YouTube channel CoinZF, and subscribe right now and turn on notifications because today you are about to hear a story that could change how you look at every coin in your pocket forever. Some coins are just metal, and some carry history, mystery, and silent power. If you're watching this video, it is not by accident. Something brought you here today, and by the time this video ends, you will never see small change the same way again. Today's story is not about gold bars, not about diamond vaults, not about royal treasuries. Today's story is about one quiet coin, a simple coin, yet one of the most misunderstood and searched coins in British collecting history. The 1971 two-new Pence coin. At first glance, it looks ordinary, small, copper, common, but history never announces its secrets loudly. History whispers, and the people who listened are the ones who discover its treasures. Let me take you back to in 1971, something massive happened in Britain's economy. For hundreds of years, the old currency system had ruled the nation. Pounds, shillings, and pence followed a complicated structure that nobody truly understood unless they grew up with it. Then one historic day arrived. Britain changed its entire system of money forever. This was not just financial reform. This was a national transformation. And during this changing moment, one coin was born into uncertainty. The two new pence. The year 1971 marks the beginning of that era, the transition year, the birth year of a new system. A coin struck during a time of confusion, hesitation, error, learning, and mistakes. And collectors know one truth above all others. The most valuable coins are born during chaos. When systems change, errors are born. When processes shift, rare variations appear. When methods update, mistakes slip quietly into circulation. And when that happens, collectors start hunting. The two new pence coin carries a design that most people never stop to study. But if you slow down and look at it really, you will see the symbol of British strength. A crown badge, a shield, royalty, legacy, empire, and tradition all pressed into copper and carried through millions of hands. Every coin tells a story, but this coin tells a story of revolution. What many people don't realize is this. Coins made during change years often have hidden versions, slight differences in lettering, tiny shifts in thickness, weight changes, metal purity experiments, striking flaws, alignment errors, planchet variations, and every one of these tiny details converts pocket change into power. People assume all coins from one year are the same. That is the biggest mistake of all. Collectors never ask, what year is the coin? They ask, which version of the coin? That is where fortunes are born. Let me tell you something important. There are coins that exist in millions, and there are coins that exist in dozens, and visually they often look identical. The 1971 two-new pence coin had numerous early production experiments. The men had just introduced decimals. Machinery was being recalibrated. Workers were learning new methods. Metal supply was shifting. That moment in history creates opportunities that only a trained eye can catch. One small variation, one die, change, one alignment error, can turn a worthless coin into a legacy item. Now imagine this, that a retired man sits at his kitchen table one evening. He has a jar filled with coins that he collected only as memories. One day, curiosity hits. He pours the coins onto the table. One coin stops him. It looks different. Just slightly. It feels heavier. Sounds duller. He researches quietly. He sends it for evaluation. Weeks pass. Then the call comes that if you're sitting, stay seated. That coin changes life. This is not fantasy. This is reality in the coin world. Rare coins don't scream. They hide. And the 1971 two-new pence coin is one of the greatest hiding places in British coin history. Here's something the public rarely understands. When new currencies are introduced, trial batches are often released into circulation accidentally. Some are not meant to leave the mint. Some were test strikes. Some were experimental alloys. Some carried prototype engravings. Some were transitional designs. Think about that. Coins not meant for people ended up in pockets. Mistakes not meant to survive were carried into history. That is why this specific coin year is hunted by serious collectors. Not casual collectors, not hobbyists, but investors, people who understand that money does not come from income. It comes from knowledge. Coin collectors are not gamblers. They are historians with patience. They wait decades. They study surfaces like surgeons. They search for the unusual within the ordinary. And they know something most people never will. Coins are silent property. NO government can freeze them. NO system tracks them. NO database records them. If you possess something rare, you hold a private asset. Now ask yourself, how many coins do you spend without looking how many gifts from history have slipped through your fingers? The man who throws away coins without looking is giving away wealth, disguised as metal. Now imagine something. You find a 1971 new Pence coin, but weighs different than expected. The sound test is off. The design depth feels sharper. The field looks smoother. The rim feels thicker. The copper tone is unusual. Collectors call this the moment, that moment when your heartbeat changes, that moment when you realize this is not an ordinary coin. This is a sleeper. Now let me tell you the rule of collectors. Rarity beats age. Condition beats survival. Variation beats popularity. A flawless rare coin from 1971 can be worth more than a common coin from 1800. Age does not make value. Uniqueness does. That is why old people often have the richest coin stashes. They lived through times when coins were stronger, heavier, better struck. They stored them without knowing why. Today, the world hunts the forgotten. The real power of the 1971 new Pence coin is not in what it is in what could exist within it. A test strike, a metal shift, a transitional alloyed in early. Died at a misaligned strike, a blank planchet error, a partial collar error, a rotated die, a double impression. These words mean nothing to most people. To collectors, they mean retirement. The strongest investment assets are the ones nobody understands. Bitcoin confused people. Land confused people. Early stocks confuse people. Rare coins still confuse people. And that is where money is always born, inside confusion. There are men today who bought coins for pennies decades ago. They now control collections. Worth millions, and they never went online. They never followed trends. They followed history. Now let me ask you a serious question. If the bank collapsed tomorrow, would your money still exist? If electricity failed, would your investment survive? If systems froze, what would you still own? Now hold a coin in your hand. IT does not need power. IT does not need a signal. IT does not need permission. IT simply exists. That is real ownership. That is real security. The world always returns to metal when systems fall. And history proves this again and again. The 1971 new Pence coin belongs to a transitional generation. Transitional objects become rare over time because production stabilizes and chaos disappears, but collectors crave chaos. They crave birth years. They crave first editions. They crave mistakes because systems are perfect only after errors. Do not ignore this coin. Inspect it. Weigh it. Listen to its sound. Observe its thickness. Search for misprints. Compare it to known examples. Look for strange alignment. Look for incomplete strikes. Look for crisp fields. Look for doubled letters. Look for odd coloration. A fortune hides in small things. People search for gold nuggets in rivers while ignoring copper in their living room. Be the man who looks closely. Be the man who studies quietly. Be the man who holds history before others realize it is valuable. This coin is not about today. IT is about tomorrow. The man who collects today owns tomorrow. And now here is the value you asked me to display at the end of this video. $90